I found out I had MS through an app notification. Not a call, not a meeting, a push notification, a little red dot on a screen. Whether you've got MS, or you know someone who does, or you're just someone who understands that life isn't all puppy dogs and rainbows, but you have to make it work anyway, this video's for you. I've tried to film this video 5 times, 5 different days, 5 locations, 5 interruptions. My daughter needed a ride home from a friend's house, a Saturday full of soccer while solo parenting, a work trip to San Diego, a wall of fatigue that knocked me on my butt at 7 p.m. and woke me up 12 hours later the next day. I kept thinking I'd vlog it, show you a day in the life, make it cinematic, make it meaningful. But the thing about chronic illness and life generally is that it doesn't wait for good lighting. So here we are, in my studio, because if I don't do it now, all at once, life will interrupt again. And that's kind of the point. It's the most honest thing that I can tell or show you about MS. Like I said at the top of this video, I have MS, multiple sclerosis. Now what? And that's not rhetorical. That's what I and so many others search for when they receive a diagnosis. I have MS, now what? No punctuation, just panic. The search results, as you might guess, were pretty useless. Medical websites talking about myelin sheaths in my immune system, supposedly inspirational blurbs about brave warriors fighting their battles, and pharmaceutical ads with people laughing in slow motion on the beach. But nobody actually answers the question, what do I do tomorrow? Because tomorrow, my kids will still need their lunches packed. They'll still need rides to wherever it is they need to go. Tomorrow, I still have deadlines. Tomorrow, my wife still needs a partner and not a patient. Tomorrow happens, no matter what. MS doesn't have a pause button. So here's the technical part. Let me get it over with the obvious caveat that I'm not a doctor. MS is an autoimmune disease. So my overactive immune system attacks the insulation around my nerves. That insulation is called myelin. Think of it like your body's wiring. The insulation gets stripped and sometimes signals get crossed or delayed, or they just disappear. Sometimes my left hand just doesn't get the memo. Sometimes my legs work, but my brain can't really remember how to make them press hard on the pedals. And sometimes I'm so tired that getting off the sofa feels like deadlifting. And sometimes I'm fine. And I've got no idea when or how I'm going to feel until I'm in the moment. You can't see it. I don't look sick. I ran a marathon 6 months after my diagnosis, then I rode 200 miles from Seattle to Portland. I also couldn't get off the sofa for 3 days last month. All of that is my reality. All of that is MS. When I got the diagnosis, well, not when I got the diagnosis, when I actually talked to a doctor, the 2 things that she said that mattered were 1, that it wasn't my fault, and 2, that treatment has come a long way. I get an infusion every 6 months, and they're working. I'm lucky. 20 years ago, MS meant an inevitable decline. 10 years ago, it meant slowing things down. Today, some of us get to live normal lives with little or no progression. Some of us. But what they don't put in the pamphlets, and my doctor made abundantly clear, is that while medicine is completely non-negotiable, and it is non-negotiable, it is not enough. You need to move. Okay, never mind the wardrobe change and the scenery change. Life and work got in the way, as they do, but again, that's kind of the point. Where were we? Oh, right. My neurologist is a rock star. The first thing she said after prescribing my treatment was, whatever movement you're doing now, you need to do more. And for me, that's actually saying quite a bit because I do a lot of movement. And it's not because exercise cures MS. It doesn't, nothing does. And it's not because I can outrun an autoimmune disease, because I can't. It's because movement is data. Movement is baselines. Movement is proving to my nervous system that we're in this together. So I train hard. 3 hours a day when I can, 2 hours on good days, 1 hour on medium days, and on bad days, well, I just close my Apple rings and call it a win. Okay, I don't call it a win, that's aspirational, but I feel a little bit less like a failure having done at least that. Because sometimes just walking to the kitchen a few times is my marathon. Let me tell you about heat and MS. Heat makes everything worse. It makes the symptoms louder. It's called Utah's phenomenon. When my core temperature rises, things get unpredictable. Summers, brutal. Hot showers, complicated. Saunas, absolutely not. Training in the heat, that's actually where it gets interesting. My neurologist has suggested that I try heat training, but with a protocol. Controlled exposure, building tolerance. So I've got sensors, I track data, and I take it a little bit at a time. But it is definitely hard. And it's not consistent either. There are days when 75 degrees feels like an oven. I track everything. Heart rate variability, recovery scores, sleep data,
training load, cognitive tests, energy levels, all of it. Not because I'm obsessed with optimization. I mean, I am obsessed with optimization. It's my literal day job, but it's because I want to know the difference between actual training fatigue and neurological MS fatigue. And that distinction is important because with training fatigue, I definitely do need to rest, and you should too. But MS fatigue means that I need to try to push through. Yeah, you heard that right. My neurologist told me that if I have fatigue that I know is neurological, that I can and should try to push through it, that I'm not going to do any more damage, and that I might actually help build more resilience. So I have a test. When I feel destroyed, but my data says I'm good, I try to do 3 really hard efforts, whether that's 3 quick sprints out on a run or 3 30-second accelerations on the bike. Try to get my heart rate to move. And if I can get my heart rate to go up, I can usually then settle into something manageable like a zone 2 ride or an easy run. If I can't get my heart rate to budge, all bets are off. I just close my Apple rings and call it a day. It's not perfect, but it's something. Last week I was on a work trip and a colleague said, "Hey, you look great. MS must not be that bad for you, or you must really have it under control." I wanted to tell him that I had spent 20 minutes that morning psyching myself up in my room trying to get to the elevator, that I had been completely unable to send an email that I really wanted to send because I was just too mentally and physically exhausted, that I didn't do the 10-mile run that I had planned, that I had just walked around for a few minutes and felt like a marathon. Instead, I said, yeah, I'm lucky. Because what else would you say? How do you explain to someone that on some mornings you can just up and run a half marathon, and other mornings it's really hard just to think? That some days I can go out and lift really heavy weights, and other days a cup of coffee is my max. That I might look normal, but I feel like I'm operating sometimes at 240p while the rest of the world's in 4K. So here's what I wish someone had told me when I was first diagnosed. 1, it's not a death sentence. It's a complication, a life complication. But there are lots of those. Everyone has them, and this is one of yours. 2, treatment works. Not perfectly, not the same for everyone, but it works better than you might think. 3, you need to move. I don't care if it's yoga, running, walking, competitive dog grooming, it doesn't matter. You need to move. If you move now, great, move more. And 4, find your people. Not for sympathy, for empathy, and for tactics. MS is different for everybody, but there is someone out there who has your weird symptom, and they've figured out ways to deal with it. Find them. And one more bonus one, number 5. Your life doesn't stop, it adapts. You're still going to be a parent, a partner, a son, a daughter, whatever you are. You just have to be more strategic about it. So what does that strategy look like? For me, I schedule my important meetings in the morning when my brain works the best. I keep protein bars in basically every jacket pocket because sometimes eating feels impossible, but I need the fuel. I've taught my kids to recognize that sometimes I just need a minute. And yeah, they're kids. Sometimes they don't get it, but my wife does, and she steps in and intervenes. I have stopped apologizing for sitting down in conversation. I've started saying my MS is acting up instead of I'm tired, because tired implies there's something that I can do to fix it. And I've accepted that some days survival is the best I'm going to do, and that's got to be enough. Remember how I said I tried to film this 5 times? I guess 6 now. That's MS. That's life. Not the dramatic version, the real version. You make plans, MS laughs. You adapt, life interrupts. You adapt again, MS flares. You keep adapting. Before MS, life was hard. Now with MS, life is still hard, just different hard. The diagnosis doesn't change the world. It doesn't change you. My kids still need rides everywhere. The mortgage still needs to be paid. The dogs still need to be walked. I just have to be smarter about it. And remember when I said, find your people? The MS community is amazing. Not just in a thoughts and prayers kind of way, but also in a here's how I handle 6 hours in an infusion chair kind of way. Or a here's how to explain brain fog to your employer kind of way. Here's why you should switch a neurologist. Here's what to do when your medication makes you feel like crap for 3 days. Tactical, practical, real. We don't just bond over inspiration, we talk about what the disease does to our body. For the newly diagnosed, that's so eye-opening. So many things made so much more sense once I started talking to people. I always thought that the pain that I was constantly experiencing was just a normal part of being an athlete. That the extreme fatigue that I felt and the inability to get through a workout was just lack of mental toughness. Knowing doesn't change the facts of the situation, but it does change my mindset. It is validating. My kids know I have MS. They know that my brain and body get tired. They know that heat makes things weird. They know that sometimes I need to sit down right now. They also know that I'm not dying, that MS is just something that we deal with, like food allergies or an irrational and explosive fear of bugs. I want to be extremely clear about my exercise and what I think you should do around exercise with MS. It's not about being inspirational. It's about being functional. Every study shows the same thing. People with MS who exercise show better outcome, better mobility, better cognition, better fatigue management, better everything. But what the studies don't tell you is that some days exercise feels really hard, even if it's what you love to do, even if it's what you want to do. And if you can push through it, great. But some days exercise is impossible. Not hard, impossible. Your legs might work, but your brain might not be able to tell them to run. Your arms might be strong, but lifting makes them feel like they're moving through cement. On those days, you acknowledge, you adapt, you modify, you change what you can, and you try again tomorrow. And tomorrow you might PR your deadlift. And all of that is MS. The good, the bad, everything. So for me, what it really looks like, a good day might be a 90-minute ride on the trainer at threshold, followed by a 45-minute run, 30 minutes in the gym doing strength work, a full day of work, being present for dinner, and then around for bedtime stories. A medium day might be a 45-minute easy ride, a 20-minute walk with the dogs, maybe some body weight exercises, and being strategic about breaks at work, dinner at the table, and then early to bed. A bad day, walk to the mailbox, do some stretching, get 1 or 2 important things done at work. Dinner on the couch, kids understand, survival. And all 3 are victories. When people ask me about the future, they ask things like, what's your prognosis? Will you get worse? Are you scared? And of course I'm scared. Scared of the disease progressing, scared of losing function, scared of being a burden. But I was scared about a lot of things before MS too. I mean, look around. I was scared of failure, scared of not being good enough, scared of regret. MS didn't give me fear, it just focused it onto something different. So I control what I can. I get my infusions on time. Movement is non-negotiable. I track my data, I spend time with my family, and I try to be present. Everything else is noise. So I want to be honest for a second. I mean, I've been honest the whole video, but really honest. MS sucks. It's not a gift. It's not a journey. You can believe it's happening for a reason, but that doesn't change the reality on the ground. It's random, it's unfair, and it's exhausting. But most days I'm just living. Getting the kids to all of the places they need to go. Meeting deadlines, making dinner, arguing about screen time, forgetting to drink the tea I just made. Living. Because that's what chronic illness looks like. It looks a lot like life. Not a battle, not a journey, just Tuesday. So I have MS. Now what? Now, nothing dramatic. Now I get infusions. Now I move my body. Now I track my data. Now I ask for help when I need it. Now I seek community. Now I pay attention. If you're watching this because you just got diagnosed, it's going to be okay. Not perfect, not easy, but okay. You're going to have bad days that make you question everything. You're going to have good days that make you forget you're sick. Both are real. Both are temporary. Find a neurologist who believes in aggressive treatment. Find movement you'll actually do, because the imperfect workout you do is better than the perfect one you don't. Find people who get it and find ways to adapt without apologizing. And remember, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're just recalibrating. Life was hard before MS. Life is hard with MS. The only difference is now you have a name for some of the hard. And honestly, that's kind of helpful. Stay moving, stay weird. Especially weird, because the MS might take a lot of things, but it can't take who you are. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.